Prosperity is a herbal remedy that has been naturally designed to nourish the prostate gland. Prosperity uses a combination of leaves, roots, and barks to create a tincture designed to nourish your prostate gland. It also will assist in prostate-related issues such as erectile dysfunction, swollen prostates, and problems related to the passage of urine. Call or WhatsApp 728-8289, 728-8289 and get your bottle today. Prosperity. Do you want an accurate natal chart reading to know the true position of the sun, the moon, and each planet at the moment that you were being born? We at the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge will create a precise natal chart for you and your loved ones, coupled with snapshot pictures of each planet, the sun, the moon, plus the constellations related to them. In addition to this, we will be giving you a detailed report of the alignment of planets to the constellations and its full meaning, not from an astrological perspective, but from an ancient astronomical perspective. You will have this report for the rest of your life and can share it with your friends and your family. To order your accurate natal chart today, visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com, or email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com. Blessed.
When I am dead, wrap the mantle of the red, the black, and the green around me. For in the new life I shall rise up with God's grace and blessing to lead the millions up the heights and the triumph that you well know. Look for me in a world when there is storm. Look for me all around you. For with God's grace I shall come back with countless millions of black men and women who have died in America, those who have died in the West Indies, and those who have died in Africa to aid you in the fight for liberty, freedom, and life. Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave. Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave. They gave leadership to our foreparents, and that leadership made them slaves. But we have decided to find a leadership of our own to make ourselves free men. Our great scholars have inspired through the colleges, the universities, have thrown away the blessed record. Babylon did it. Assyria did it. France under Napoleon did it. Germany under Prince von Bismarck did it. England under America under George Washington did it. Africa with 400 million black people can do it. If you cannot do it, if you are not prepared to do it, then you will die. You race of cowards. You race of imbeciles, you race of just for nothing. If you cannot do what other men have done, what other nations have done, what other races have done, then you have better die.
Yeah.
Can we do it? We can do it. We I'll do it.
Oh, give thanks, sir. Yes, royal family, we definitely give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Of course, it is a joy once again to welcome you into the zone. Remember, this is the zone, the Tiger's Nest, Radio Anu International, which is the international flavor, the universal spice. The Honorable Priest Isaac here with you for another beautiful rendition of our nightly program again, the Tiger's Nest. Let me just remind you that the Tiger's Nest comes to you every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 7 p.m., talking about Eastern Caribbean time. And of course, we are very thankful that you could have, taken the time to come and sup with us this evening. And of course, we're going to give thanks again for the Honorable Empress Naya, who sat in for us previous evening right here on the Tiger's Nest. A beautiful, beautiful program, definitely going into some redemption healing. Of course, this is stealth media, you better believe it. And as I said, Radio Anu is a revolutionary radio, and that is exactly what is taking place here, even at this moment. And this evening, we're going to have a wonderful sit down. This evening, we're going to have a wonderful program. We're going to be talking a bit about what's going on in Israel as such, but we're going to be looking at it from the spectacles of the general, from the viewpoint of the Field Marshal General himself. So this is going to be a beautiful one. I do not want to have you waiting at all for us to get into that subject area for sure. And of course, obviously we are premiering this evening's program on Radio Anu TV. You get it? Radio Anu is the brand name itself, eh? TV. Somebody said Radio Anu Television. No. TV. It's all right. We're telling you the truth through vision, eh? So Radio Anu TV, specifically those on the YouTube and other spots for sure. And of course, the Priest Isaac's Institute itself, the website, priestisaacinstitute.com. We will be premiering this edition of the Tiger's Nest. So you could, as we would say, you could see what we are saying. How does that sound? You could see exactly what we're saying. Let me just remind you before we go too deep that the 5th of November, mark the date, family. The 5th of November is this year's Patrons Day. For those who do not know what Patrons Day is all about, well, as the time gets closer, we're going to definitely be giving you much more information. But just to give you the basics, every year we celebrate the relaunching of Radio Anu itself. And we celebrate that on the 3rd of November, which coincides with the coronation of Emperor Menelik II. This year, the 3rd of November, will be on a black over white Friday. So we decided that we would have Patrons Day, the event itself, on the 5th of November. But it's going to be grander than any Patrons Day for sure. We're going to still have wonderful speakers as we always do. And we're going to have some wonderful lectures passing through as we always do. We're going to have a wonderful panel discussion and prizes and surprises as always, because you must keep in mind, for those who do not know, just as the term says, Patreon Day, Patreon. So this day we give forward or give back, and you as the Patreon, you do the same. So it's just like a cycle that we are creating here. We're going to have a wonderful watch night where we will be viewing a pedimec, and it's just going to be a beautiful day. Again, for those who may not know the whole construct of Patrons Day, it's going to be from sunup to sundown and points before and after. So in other words, the real Patrons Day, which you're going to hear all through the day via Radio Anu now. Radio Anu, it's Radio Anu. We are celebrating. So Patrons Day is a Radio Anu exclusive from Opera Asing, uprising. What? The uprising. Oh, yeah. Up, Ra, the sun. A sing, joy. The fish leaping out of the sea to praise the uprising awe. Uprising. Some people prefer to say morning. Oh, good morning. Oh, morning. You just start on your morning already. You know why they call morning morning? This ain't no joke. Because they used to bury people in the morning. No, I'm serious. So it's a morning, we say grand uprising. You get it? So up, ra, I sing. You know, that's just a little Wadadly flavor to it. I know the conscious people will say grand uprising. That can work too. But we just add a little touch to it. Up, ra, I sing. And the ra, I sing, you sing. Up, ra, I sing. So from the uprising, up, ra, I sing until the sun set, we definitely Radio Anu is the place to be. But listen to this, even before that, from midnight, you know, the 12 o'clock hour, we are going to go into prayer and worship. Heavy, heavy Nyabingi drum sound just cutting through the planet. So, I mean, the more of us that are in tune, is the more the earth will quake and shake, and more the wicked will quake and shake, really. The earth will jump for joy. From midnight, make sure you're in tune to Radio Anu. Hey, listen, you're supposed to always be on Radio Anu, by the way. Radio Anu doesn't open at 5 and close at 7, you know. Radio Anu is totally round the clock, you know. 24/8, as they would say, 24/7, really. You know, Sabbath time, said we come and get your Sabbath joy and all your Sabbath services. Radio Anu, again, the international flavor, the universal spice. And as I said, we're going to have a beautiful watch night that evening. So listen, as the days get closer, we're going to be giving you much more information, but all you got to do is visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com. Remember the link, all the links are in the description below. And again, we are premiering this evening's Tiger's Nest to the international community, and that can be seen on Radio Anu TV, the YouTube, and wherever else we are premiering this program. But let me remind you, that the Tiger's Nest is really a Radio Anu exclusive as well. And we are here every evening. So if you want to be a subscriber, what that does for you, that ensures that you never miss one of these programs again. So did you hear the program last night? Oh, man, you missed that, man? Oh, come on, man. Well, this is what I'm talking about. For all the subscribers, they for sure, they're going to, of course, my Lord, we have it in our inbox. Well, that's the point. You know, once you are a subscriber to the Tiger's Nest, we ensure that you get a copy of the program when the program is done. You understand? So, in other words, that's actually the motto for the subscription team. Never miss another episode again of the Tiger's Nest. As simple as that. You contact us, I would like to subscribe. All you got to do is email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com. And then all you have to say is, I would like to become a subscriber to the Tiger's Nest radio program. And technically it's done, you know. There's a few other little things we have to negotiate, and there you go. Or you could just go to the website itself, priestisaacinstitute.com, and find the whole subscription agenda and press the buttons, and they will take you exactly where you need to go. Beautiful. Never miss another episode of the Tiger's Nest. Right. Now, we want to speak about the war that is taking place in the Middle East. It's a war, the uprising, because there's always a war. Now, we're going to look at this from a different perspective. We are dealing with the point of view of Big Dada, the Field Marshal General himself, the most beautiful Idi Amin Dada. Now, before we even go that far, of course, you know, propaganda runs the world. Even right here in Antigua, they have people, no disrespect to them, some old granny calling on public radio station talking about we need to say a prayer for Israel. I said, what is this? We need to pray for Israel and you know, God bless Israel. Now listen, whether you believe in Bible or not, I'm telling you, number one, I think everyone that's listening should know that these individuals that have taken over the Levant region, that area that is known as Palestine, and who obviously are Europeans and descend from Russia and Poland and these places here, Ashkenazi, yes, people here, they are not the true Israelites. Now, we wrote a book, The True Biblical Land of Israel. You can go on our website and get a copy of the book, The True Biblical Land of Israel. A lot of you that are listening would have already purchased The True Biblical Land of Israel. And within the pages of The True Biblical Land of Israel, we clearly highlight from a biblical perspective that the true land of Israel is Africa plus Arabia, according to the Bible. Now, this is not an argument about if the Bible is true and they don't believe in the Bible. No, hear me. And I always like to say, even if it was Mother Goose that wrote the Bible, my point is that according to the Bible, we're not fighting over the authenticity of it right now. We can talk about that. But it's such a massive book in the earth. You have to divide the discussions as it relates to it. But for now, let's not muddy up the water. According to that book, if you want me to put it like this, all right, for the Bible believers then, good. According to that book, the true land of Israel is Africa plus Arabia. And it doesn't mean that that little piece of real estate that they call Palestine is not a part of it, because it's actually in it. But they did not develop that as a 0.2% of the land of Israel, you know. They, with their propaganda campaign, is trying to brain scrub the whole world to believe that that little piece of real estate there in that part of the world is the whole biblical landscape that you read of from Genesis to Revelation. That's what I'm talking about, and that is not true. Now, the Israeli people, again, the people from Poland and Russia, Ashkenaz, they refer to themselves as the descendants of Ashkenaz. We already did the program where we showed you that Ashkenaz obviously cannot be of the children of Israel because they inhabited the isles of the Gentiles. Ashkenaz and Gomer and Javan and these different people coming out of the lineage of Japheth. So how the Ashkenazi people turn into Israelites? And that's some deep biblical genealogy for you to get into. It's simple maths, you know, it's a simple ABC. And this is really for those who would believe this sort of philosophy and then still try to believe that the Ariel Sharon and what's the fella that's leading Israel now? I can't even remember his name. All of these people are the true biblical chosen people. So this is why they take the authority to ransack the place and say, well, this is the land that God promised us. It's the same way. When you read the Bible, it's the same way. That's how Israel in the Bible work for real, you know, under the command of God, though. Go and take over the land. Yes, So now they feel that, well, we're the true Israeli. Well, you may be the true Israeli, but you're definitely not the true Israelites. What you say? Exactly. It's two different words. Israelites. Two different words. The Israelites that are spoken of in the Bible, the 144,000 elect. Now let's go deep. It's science. It's more than just a story. 144,000 petals of light. The chakra system. We have covered these programs. 144,000 minutes of arc per second, the speed of light when seen in a circle, a halo. A halo is 144,000 minutes of arc per second. It's the symbol of light, 144,000. So we are the true Israelites, the Ebonites, the Israelites, not Israeli. So these Jewish people who wish they were the true Jews, as you can see now, they're just raising hell, bombing and killing people. And somebody is saying, but no, priest, you have the story mixed up. Remember, Hamas was the one who? Hamas was the one. What are you talking about? You eat too much CNN. You drink too much BB Blind, telling me about some Hamas. So they make it sound like Israel is fighting against Hamas and this kind of stuff. I understand what you're saying. I don't want to make it sound as if I'm ignorant of what the news is broadcasting. I get you. I know you are, you know. I can come and look at it from your angle too. But yet still, I can't always think like a slave. What's the reality of what's going on? Now, we could argue all day about the Arabs and their hand in not only enslaving Black people, Africans, but taking their land. Not just Palestine. Check Algeria. Check Libya. Check the Arab Republic of Egypt today. All of this is, you know, Tunisia, Morocco. This is Black people territory. History shows the invasion of the Arabs in about 638 or thereof would have almost wiped out the Black people from that region. Now, I know when you travel to these regions, you still see a lot of Black people. Don't get me wrong. You understand? Even when you go to Jordan and these places, you still see a lot of Black people. Don't get me wrong at all. But the Arab blood, you know, of conquest would have changed the whole outlook, really, as it relates to people and race, etc., in some of these lands. So somehow we as Africans, those of us who are Africans, when we talk about Africa, somehow we leave out Morocco, we leave out Algeria. Yeah, we know it's on the continent, but somehow it's just not there for us. Anything south of the Sahara, we can talk business. Yeah, so what happened to the rest of Africa? Well, the Arabs seem to have that, you know, so let's just leave them with it. And the story can't end so. But anyway. But even understanding that, so the Arabs in Palestine now, the Palestinians, they would have been, for decades now, since the 1940s, in fact, before that, even before they came to the conclusion that Israel was going to be in Palestine, they already began to persecute them people there. This is gone beyond persecution. It is because some of us, we don't really study and follow up the real history. So now the news or the views bring it to us as if it's just, you know, a war taking place between two people. Which war? The Palestinians live in Israel, basically. You know, the Israeli government is who rule over the Palestinian people. Whatever so-called rulership they have of themselves, we know that's not what it is. The Palestinians and the Israelis basically live together for decades now. It has never been a fair fight. It's not just Israel against the Palestinians, you know. It may be that now, it seems like that now, but several years ago, man, Egypt and Jordan, all of them would be fighting back, assisting the Palestinians. They would have gotten very soft today. So I just want to kind of prep my discussion from that angle. To be clear, number one, this Israel business, don't confuse that at all with what is in the Torah. Just forget that part. In fact, woe be unto those who say they are Jews and are not. That's them. I always ask the question, so who are the people that say that they're Jews and are not? Well, the first thing you have to do is to check to see who say they're Jews. Ain't too many people really. I mean, you have it, but we know that the people with the real clout, the people who run the media, that has the ability to tell you that they're the Jews and are not, is the Jews that are not, but of the synagogue of Satan. Yeah. Hear who they are? Not just, they're not the Jews, you know, they are the synagogue of what? So what kind of people are these? But you just explained, from the synagogue of the devil. Well, there you go. And that's just reality for those who are Bible believers. In fact, let me ask the Bible believers who may be disagreeing with me, who are the Jews then that the Bible talk about that are not the Jews? Tell me. Who? Hebrew Israelite? Come on, man. Come better than that. Nobody know about no Hebrew Israelite. The world know about the Jewish people. That's my point. It's not no undercover operation the Bible talking about. World power and domination, war unto those that say that they're Jews and are not. That's what the Bible says, Revelation say a couple times. And they're from the pit of hell, it says. That's why they behave so. So I just want to clear that out of the way, first of all, just so we can understand. That's how I look at it. And the true Israelites have nothing to do with the Israelis. The true Israelites have nothing to do with the Israelis. Israeli. Really? Really? You think so? Really? As one brethren say, is fakies. You must be cracking up here tonight. Yeah, well, not you we come to crack up. Yeah, not you we come to crack up at all. And then now, again, going into the discussion, what we want to do, really, is to take a look at General Amin's outlook on the war between Israel, the Arab world, the Palestinians, and even his involvement and planned involvement during his tenure, if you want to use them kind of terms there. Now, this is going to be a serious program, family. As I said, we are premiering this Radio Anu TV. Of course, you know, Idi Amin Dada, the great, beautiful God, his biggest fan is speaking to you, is hated by the Jew-wish people. They so wish they're the real Jews, eh? Yeah. But anyway, what we'll be doing tonight, we're going to be listening to Big Dada's strategic plan. We're going to go into his mind. Let's put it that way. He's going to explain to you, man, you're going to hear some things here tonight. He is going to explain to you, number one, his outlook on the Jewish people in a way that only Idi Amin Dada could do, and exactly how he would go and fight the war against Israel. Yeah. Israel's biggest fear is the great Dada himself. So yes, family, we have a wonderful program in store for you. Radio Anu, the international flavor, the universal spice. I hope you have all your universal spices together and your flavor as food and drink, and of course your chalice. Yeah, flavor and spice, because we are flavoring up and we're gonna spice it up as well as we go through. So family, is going to be a beautiful sit down before we enter into the depths of it, because this is just a preface. We want you to contact a friend. Let your fraternity know that you're listening to the Tiger's Nest. Those who are watching the premiere, give it the thumbs up and like the video as such, and leave a comment. Let's say whatever you think you have to say. It's all right. Just don't be disrespectful. And at the same time, share the link. Share the link. And again, we're on Radio Anu, and the link for Radio Anu is in the description below. Beautiful. This is going to be a serious sit down this evening. Tiger's Nest.
When I am dead, wrap the mantle of the red, the black and the green around me. For in the new life I shall rise up with God's grace and blessing to lead the millions up the heights and the triumph that you well know. Look for me in a world when there's a storm. Look for me all around you. For with God's grace I shall come back with countless millions of black men and women who have died in America, those who have died in the West Indies, and those who have died in Africa to aid you in the fight for liberty, freedom, and life.
Of them, they lay their eggs under these places down there.
Tell me, you were telling us that you think the Nile is a link between your country, Sudan, and Egypt.
Yes.
But for ages, there has been a problem between the Arabs and the Africans, the Negroes. What do you think of that?
Yes, it has been because the leaders of Arabs before, they were not revolutionary leaders. But today, during my time as a revolutionary leader, I want to bring everybody in Africa, in Arab worlds, very closely, and Asia, and Europe. And therefore, we, the revolutionary leaders, we want to be very friendly with all peace-loving people in the world. And this is highly appreciated very much by most revolutionary leader in Arab. That's why you find that today there is more unity between Africa and Arab than before. Especially during my tour of Middle East, I have toured very many countries and I have brought them together as one family.
Listen.
You see, elephant is dragging the water. I think it can't get out.
Now, what you're listening to there, for those who may not know, that's the great God Idi Amin Dada, and giving an interview, I would say, to some French people there. And he was just giving you his outlook, really, of why he thought it was necessary for him to, let's say, work along with the Arabs, the revolutionary Arabs even at that time. So this is taken from General Idi Amin Dada, a self-portrait. This is a video that is banned from YouTube. Well, I mean, if you try to put it up, it doesn't go up. It was there. They keep just taking it down. And I mean, they have 1,000,010, and that's just a kind of being exaggerating the number there, but they have 1,010 videos on Idi Amin on the YouTube, you know. All propaganda, lies, lies, just lies. And they will never take these videos down. But if you put up the documentary that just shows you him, nothing lie about it, you know. Maybe you haven't seen everything, but it's just a nice documentary. The person that did it tried to put a few propaganda hits in it. He himself said so. He himself said so. In fact, the original video we had of this at the end, I'm sure those of you who know the video from before even the YouTube days, the video itself had at the end, there was like a 20-minute response as such from the director. And he was older at the time. And he clearly said he was sent by the French government to do a propaganda video on Idi Amin. And he said, man, by the time he was done, there wasn't really too much that he could do, because the man was just a free man, living with his people, showing love. And I mean, he just couldn't do nothing about it. And he just made it plain. Yet still he tried to put in his little propaganda, especially how they started the video, etc. But it just couldn't work. But I'm just trying to show you that this platform they call YouTube refused to keep up the video, because it's just not what they want to see, because it's making Idi Amin Dada not look good enough, but look normal. Look as what he is. That's just who he is. No, we don't want that. We want something that makes him look like a devil. I will show you why they think like that.
National Park, and that is the one. And it is the tourist attractions.
No one needs to listen to this, family. Listen good.
I came so close to the Arab because Arab found that I am most influential leader in Africa, in the continent, and also I am a leader who speaks the truth.
Did your Muslim religion take part into your choice of the Arabs?
It is not because of the Muslim, because the people who broke relationship with Israel, they are not only Muslims, they are Christians, but they have seen the truth. And everybody listen for me. And even in OAU, if I don't speak, every leader try to ask why, and I must speak like in a non-aligned conference in Algeria. I was not feeling well, I did not speak, but 15 minutes before the conference closed, I was brought to come and give a speech. I gave very good speech, including Castro broke relationship with Israel after my speech.
Now, I just want you to understand the king's doctrine here. So he is showing the interviewer early now, listen. It's not just Muslims that break relationship with Israel. This is a politician or a diplomat, I should say, speaking here. Now, when is a politician really? It's not in the modern day party politics. Policies. So he is a policy maker. So as a chief diplomat, he is showing you in this diplomatic political world, many people cut political relationship he's talking about with Israel. Not only Muslims, even Christians cut relationship with Israel. Then he went on to say that he was at the non-alliance conference in Algeria, and he wasn't feeling well and he didn't speak, as how he put it. But 15 minutes before the conference ended, he was called to give a speech. And he gives very good speech, according to him. That's how he said it. I give very good speech. Even Castro broke relationship with Israel after my speech. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Fidel Castro is a Roman Catholic, isn't he? So he's trying to show the fella there that, listen, man, this ain't got nothing to do with me being no Muslim, yo. The people that broke relationship with Israel knows that Israel are criminals. Now, hear what the propagandist tried to put in his little video here.
Telegram sent to Mr. Kurt Waldheim, Permanent Secretary of the United Nations. Hitler and all the German people knew that the Israelis are not people who work in the interest of the people of the world, and that is why they burnt 6 million Jews alive with gas on the soil of Germany. This telegram was sent the day after the Munich killings. Some years before, General Amin had undergone, as had other Ugandans, paratroop training in Israel.
But I'm trained as a paratrooper in Israel. But I have got a very good brain, and even General Dayan knows that I am very good field officer.
You know Dayan very well?
I know him, and I know him. He has been my friend. He has been giving me dinner, luncheon in his house. If I go to Israel, I used to stay with Dayan. He brings Air Force band playing for me. We stay together. But I must make it absolutely truth. The reason why I chased them from Uganda was because of the economy of Uganda. Uganda was going to be bankrupt.
Okay, let me just come in there. So just for clarity. So you know Dayan very well, and that he's talking of General Dayan from the Israeli army at that time. And I think it was Golda Meir, Moshe Dayan. I think he was a one-eye criminal. So Idi Amin, because you must understand Idi Amin's history too, eh? This is a former top soldier in the British rifle. What they call them there? The British Rifles, right? The British Rifles in East Africa. So he was trained in Israel, Idi Amin, trained by some top British generals, you know, that would have seen him rise in the ranks. You got to keep in mind that when Uganda got its independence in the from Britain in the early 1960s, it was Idi Amin Dada himself that lowered the flag of the Union Jack, the British flag. So you must understand where he is, where he was, and where he is. Even Milton Obote, he was the right hand to Milton Obote, who he overthrew to take over Uganda. Idi Amin is like Robert Mugabe, you know, he's a sweetheart of Britain, he is, or was, until he decided to, again, chase out the Israelis. He chased them out of the country. He chased out the Indians. He chased out the Israelis. We did a whole program on that. In fact, just to keep the theme, after this program tonight, I'm going to replay the program we did on Idi Amin and how he handled the, you know, the Asians when he kicked them out of Uganda. Very important program for you to listen. So if you're not a subscriber, if you didn't get a copy of that, stay tuned. Those of you who are watching the premiere, you should press the link in the description to make sure you get that program after this program is seen. So you're hearing him clearly show you now. Yeah, Moshe Dayan, when I went to Israel, you know, they would play band, I get the band play for me, marching band and parade and eyes right and yeah, breakfast. I would stay with Dayan, like oh the God talk, eh? But then he straightens that up to show, well, listen, but I want to be clear here. The reason why I kicked them out of Uganda is because they were bankrupt in the country. Just like all the other colonialists or want to be colonialists, they were trying to suck out the resources for themselves. I couldn't make that.
Very good field officer.
You know Dayat very well?
I know him, and I know him. He has been my friend. He has been giving me dinner, luncheon in his house. If I go to Israel, I used to stay with Dayan. He brings Air Force band playing for me. We stay together. But I must make it absolutely truth. The reason why I chased them from Uganda was because of the economy of Uganda. Uganda was going to be bankrupt. That is the reason why I chased away the Israelis.
And you said you were friends with Golda Meir.
Yes, because she used to give me very good entertainment when I go to Israel.
Then you changed completely from an Israeli alliance to the Arab alliance.
I changed from Israeli alliance because Israeli are criminals and that they are not trusted people. They don't tell the world the truth. They were taken to Palestine as refugees, and then they changed Palestine to become a state of Israel by force of arms given to them by Americans and the British.
But is it true that you said Hitler didn't kill enough Jews during the war?
Now, before we get to how many Jews Hitler killed during the war, we need to understand the philosophy that the king just laid down here. Remember, they consider idiot. They're not consider. They know better than that. They call him the buffoon of Kampala. You know what I mean? The buffoon. Listen, you need to understand our granddaddy here. You hear him laugh, and he's a perfect ma'at. That's what Idi Amin is. Perfect ma'at. What a jolly soul. And not faking it, really jolly. You could see that. Happy, sharing with the people. Very humorous, but extremely serious. No play around. I mean, wow, it's like ice cold and red hot. Two extremes, and he has perfect balance. And even in his seriousness, he would even bring in his humor. He does it all the time. Again, the program that we're going to hear after this, we highlighted some of that when he brought the British diplomats and the diplomats from Bangladesh and India for luncheon at his house. And he invited the whole television crew, and wine and dine, and they laugh and they ha ha. And he said, yes, anyway, I'm going to kick the Indians out, and they have 90 days to get out, and I don't want none of them here, or else they're going to see my wrath. But I'm the best friend of British, because the British people brought them there, but he's still showing them, I'm the best friend of British, and the British like, wow, what kind of madness is this? What do you mean you can kick out all these people here? About 80,000 people, you can't just kick them out. Where they going to go? Well, they have British passport. They can come to Britain. Yeah, and he's laughing and he's serious. You better get them out. That's the man, That's the man. So just listen. I could imagine them listening to this. So just listen to his philosophy. Is the philosophy I'm bringing out here as it relates to who these people are, where they came from. The Israelis.
Let's make it absolutely truth. The reason why I chased them from Uganda was because of the economy of Uganda. Uganda was going to be bankrupt. That is the reason why I chased away the Israelis.
And you said you were friends with Golda Meir.
Yes, because she used to give me very good entertainment when I go to Israel.
And Golda Meir is former, I think, prime minister of Israel, so-called.
Then you changed completely from an Israeli alliance to the Arab alliance.
Now listen to this.
I changed from Israeli alliance because Israeli are criminals.
Israeli are criminals. Hear this now.
And that they are not trusted people.
They're not trusted people. They don't tell the world the truth.
They don't tell the world the truth. They were taken to Palestine as refugees.
They were taken to Palestine as refugees.
And then they changed Palestine to become a state of Israel.
Is that so? Then they changed Palestine to become the state of Israel by force of arms given to them by Britain and America.
By force of arms given to them by Americans and the British.
You say, myself. Now, go and put on the television and see what CNN is saying. See what BB Blind is saying now, and MB Blind and the rest of the Blind crew. And then penetrate. In fact, don't go put on no television. How on earth did I come to tell you that? Just lock that stuff off and let's keep it here. You understand? But this is the real truth. That's why we're telling you truth through the vision. These people were refugees. And they went to Palestine, remember, and this is one of the important points. Uganda was the first choice for the land of Israel. This is how we know that these imposters, as Brother Akibika will say, imposter, I'm telling you, what a lick. Yeah, Jesus na blanca, man. ¿Qué pasa? These imposters knew the whole vibration of the true land of Israel. I mean, how many programs we would have done? Even previous strong, we did a program where we were highlighting Mount Zion in, Mount Kenya, and a few other places. And we would have done enough programs highlighting all of these maps that show biblical signs in Africa, South Africa, East Africa, etc., etc. I don't want to go too far into that because some of that is debatable too, but it doesn't take away that whole concept of Africa and the not just the promised land concept, but the land of Israel concept is a very deep discussion. Yes, the true biblical land of Israel, yes, of course. It's a must. That is the book that we would have written, The True Biblical Land of Israel. If you don't have a copy of that book, this is a plug here. If you do not have a copy of the book, The True Biblical Land of Israel, well, just visit the website, PreCisaacinstitute.com, and check out books, or I think it's shop, and just scroll through and you'll see so many other things that you may not have a copy of. But go and get a copy of The True Biblical Land of Israel. It's a very good read. I think very concise. I don't think it's really debatable, straight up, especially from the stance that we are taking and the premise we're coming from, especially not trying to validate the Bible in that book. We're just dealing with it as it is. I don't think it's debatable at all. But then you have other aspects to history. Do you know Haile Selassie changed the name of an Ethiopian city from, I think it was Adama. Yes, from Adama to Nazareth. Interesting. Haile Selassie himself, changed the city's name or the town's name from Adama to Nazareth. Interesting. Why? Nazareth is supposed to be in Israel. Makes sense to me. Where did he do that? In Ethiopia? Ethiopia talking about, man.
But is it true that you said Hitler didn't kill enough Jews during the war?
Hitler didn't kill enough Jews during the
war. Why do you ask me about Hitler? The Hitler's problem is now past tense. Now we are looking forward for the future generations and the future plan. We are no longer going back to Hitler's. You see, the war of Hitler, it was a different war than the war today.
War today.
If I am to prepare the war against Israel.
Now listen now. I wonder if you all understanding what's going on here. I'm not going to even comment on the Hitler thing. He is going to now explain to you. He's giving you strategy. You're getting it from the Field Marshal General himself. And I'm sure he's just talking to the interviewer. He ain't going to tell him everything. In fact, there's a part in this video, I didn't hear the question. The question is not in the video, but he told the interviewer, I mean, that's confidential. No real leader, no real general is going to give his battle plan, you know what I mean, to a representative potentially of the enemy. I'm paraphrasing, but basically that's where it was. But yet still, he's giving enough because he knows that I and I will be listening in the future to get a good understanding of how to win the war. Think we playing around?
You see, the war of Hitler, it was a different war than the war today. If I am to prepare the war against Israel completely, no, I don't want very many Army, Air Force, and the Navy, just very few, and strike inside Israel, and move people from the whole border towards Israel. I think the situation will be very difficult and very different.
From inside with paratrooper or?
With the paratrooper, with everything completely. Yes, because you got to get there by paratrooper and also bombing by airplanes and having few squadron of suicide, these who are determined to be suicide. And I think that is already in progress and they are practicing. The suicide squadrons are already in practice, in progress. I think very many delegations meeting me now, preparing for this. And they come to conclusion, it is true, you will find it here. And this will change the time of battle. And
no. You understand what's going on there. He's clearly explaining how he would go about launching the attack on the enemy. Now there's another clip in this video here. And I must say clip because it's something that you need to see. Where the great Dada brings out the army as he's the mighty Olmeke. And if you want to say, it's more like, should we call that war games or an exhibition, a drill? And he explains to the camera crew how he's going to take over the Golan Heights. Those of you who read your Bible, you know the Golan Heights is a place in Israel. And in fact, there was a time in history, I think I was very young, I could remember Jordan, I think it was, and Israel going back and forth over the Golan Heights. That Golden Heights, G-O-L-A-N. So now, the God Idi Amin is showing these people here, well, listen, see all these tanks? He have his tanks and everything, and helicopter and plane flying over, and he's gonna show them how he's gonna take over the Golan Heights. If I'm not mistaken, I stand corrected, but there was a part in his explanation where the woman would have said, I mean, listen, she's a hilarious woman, and the French lady, she knows how to interrupt him and say some funny things. But I think she interrupted and said, this is not the Golan Heights. And the great God said, I'm just explaining to you. And he's explaining. I want you to get into the mind of the strategist, the so-called buffoon. And he's explaining to her how he can take over the Golan Heights.
But you see, I am only one who has been in both sides. During the 67 war, I was in the Suez Canal on the other side, and now I am in the Suez Canal in the other side. I like it very much.
Check it.
First, the armored, after crossing the Lake Galilee, reaching the foot of the Golan Heights,
Listen.
they are engaged by the enemy, and the officer commanding mechanized battalion asked for the support by paratroopers and air support. You understand? I'm just explaining to you.
Yes, sir.
And while the armored and the mechanized regiment are being engaged, the Air Force gave support so that the paratrooper land by helicopter on the Golan Heights and captured Golan Heights.
So basically, he just explained how he would go about, you know, the regiment, armed regiment, hear the tanks, helicopter land, plane will pass over, and Golan Heights. So go through the whole rendition, and basically show them how it's done. That is Idi Amin data for you, I think that means. Oh. Now again, and I don't even have to ask, because there are many ones, you know, you must understand. Let me put it plainly. Remember, there's a quote-unquote war going on. Eh? I made the decision that I want to hear this on the YouTube. See, that's why we are on Radio Anu. Radio Anu is revolutionary radio. You know that there are many things we talk about on Radio Anu. We can't even pass it on this social media business. You look around, they take video down. You look around, they ban you for this and ban you for that. That is why we now, those of us who would have escaped from slavery, that's why I tell you, family, you're supposed to support Radio Anu. Radio Anu is revolutionary radio. Let me put it this way. I shouldn't really have to be coming to know YouTube to speak this, you know. This is not YouTube kind of stuff. No, I'm serious. Let me repeat. In a sense, it's almost like politics we're talking about here now. International politics. Joe Biden and them other fellas gone to Israel to support these killers in their slaughter. Well, the Palestinians, I already started the program by explaining it. I already began the program, unless it just came in. We understand where we stand when it comes to our revolution, but that doesn't make it right. That doesn't make it right to be massacring all of them people there. Just, well, the judgment of the Lord, them is lazy thinking people too that be talking about just judgment and his judgment, and because they don't have a better answer. They don't even understand the geopolitics behind of it. So I'm just letting you know for sure that in that world, which is the world that we're in, this is heavy politics. And they do not like that for obvious reasons. I just want you to comprehend that. Now, again, I want us to follow the thinking as it relates to Idi Amin data. And there was, before we talking about Hamas, I'm sure some of you remember Black September. And before we see it tonight, you remember the time when the Black September landed a hijacked aircraft in Uganda? They made a whole movie about that. Raid on Entebbe. Do you know before that happened, in this very same video, you could say the interviewer asked Idi Amin about the Palestinian hijackers who were up in the air at the time. This is serious. And if they if they wanted to land in Uganda, if he would open the door for them, we'll get to that.
Manual detailing all of the Israeli plans.
I want you to hear this now. This is some serious stuff, eh? Some serious stuff.
Every evening, there is a news broadcast in 4 languages on television. The slightest event concerning the president is reported.
La télévision ougandaise vous présente son journal parlé. Au micro, Rudiments of Ancient. À l'occasion d'une conférence de presse,
during a press conference with French journalists held at the Entebbe Palace, His Excellency President Amin announced that he was in possession of a manual detailing all of the Israeli plans.
Possession d'un manuel contenant tous les plans des Israéliens.
Mecca and Medina should be today under the control of the Israelis, but because they lost the war in the first 5 days, they couldn't continue even further. And that is why it is stopped. But their aim is to capture Mecca and Medina. All the holy places all over the world should be controlled by the Israelis. This is their aim.
Okay. All the holy places all over the world. Is that so?
But because they lost the war in the first 5 days, they couldn't continue even further. And that is why it is stopped. But their aim is to capture Mecca and Medina. All the holy places all over the world should be controlled by the Israelis. This is their aim. I have got these books with me. And I am sure after we finish here, I will give you the copy of the book. But you read my copy today here, and you give it back to me, because it is if Israel find it, they will buy the whole copy, and they don't want the people in the world to see this.
No. This is serious. The book that he's talking about is the Protocols of the Elders of Zion. Now, any one of you who are studied as such, you know of the book, the Protocols of the Elders of Zion. Again, just to reference good brother Akibika again, eh? In one of them songs, I know he mentioned protocols of the elders of imposter Zion. Really? Imposter. But come right full circle. Imposter Zion. You understand? That is a well-known book. I come across that book. I go through that book. This fella that doing the interview said that the book is a fake. And he say it in such a way as if, like, if your heart is not strong, you say, oh, okay, well, you know.
I will give you, it is here. It is a book of the Israelis, yes, which is the teaching of the elders of the Israelis, of the Zionists.
The book is a fake, published in 1901 by the Russian secret police.
No, the book published in 1901, eh?
Millions of copies were printed.
Millions of copies were printed. So what's his definition of the book is a fake? I mean, you know, he tell you when it was published, and he tell you millions of copies were printed. Book is a fake. It's a fake because it highlighted the is fake is. And listen.
It was required reading in the schools of the Third Reich. When asked if it was true that the Israelis wanted to poison the Nile, General Amin replied that they had indeed wanted to do so while they were still in Uganda.
Les Israéliens effectivement l'avaient voulu quand ils étaient encore en Ouganda.
They can poison the water, River Nile, from Uganda, so that the people who will be drinking in the other end, they will die.
General Amin remarked that the plans of the Israelis were even more disgusting than Hitler's against the Jews.
Of course.
Tramé par Hitler contre les Juifs.
Dreaming it has been the truth on my side, because some people dream which is not the truth, but I dream the truth.
Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to carry you straight now to the hijacking that was taking place in that day, which really led to, again, the landing of the plane in Entebbe. Now, let me just highlight this first. So it's the same kind of atmosphere. I mean, hijacking doesn't seem to be a big thing today, but back in them times, yeah. When is the last hijacking that took place? The last hijacking. I don't know if you count 9/11 as a hijacking. Because remember, the 9/11 story is a lie. You know, I had a video about 9/11 and these killers take it down off of YouTube. There's nothing in the video that's a lie. Wow, I'm telling you. No American airline hit building number 1. No American airline hit building number 2. I know some of you listening saying, oh, what's he talking about? What's he talking about? Eh? I'm not going to go into the depths of that, but I know we have that well covered. If we have to blow a trumpet on that, we start to blow down. Then now, the plane that crashed in Pennsylvania, that's a joke. The stuff that ran into the Pentagon, you got to be kidding me. Pentagon. It's a whole farce, the whole lie. And my real question is, what became of them 4 planes? Because these were real planes that took off. That's what you need to think about and stop trying to, conspiracy theorists. Conspiracy theorists, eh? And the time we take battling with those who have us as conspiracy theorists, our mind is taken off of the real agenda, which is what happened to them 4 planes. You knew anybody that was in them planes? I'm not talking about the buildings. I'm talking about the planes. Because these are 4 registered planes, real planes that took off, and none of them ended up where the news say they ended up. We're positive. I'm not asking nobody. How many of you saw in plain sight? How many of you saw loose chains? So come on, man. Let's not be dumb. It's a lie. The whole 9/11 thing is a lie. I say that, nothing gossip. Heap a lie. Just so they can reset and change the world. Listen, that's the world we live in, eh? That's why many times you may think that your brother is like too serious or he sound too this and sound. This ain't no sound thing. This is the real world. I like to tell people 9/11 is my religion. Because when I realize, number one, you have to understand the impact that gave to the world. Whole governments have been toppled because of this 9/11 stuff and terrorists, Al-Qaeda, the other fellas them, I can't remember the name, and Taliban and all that whole crap that they brought to the world. And still we, the enslaved, brother, we just follow this, lap it up. No rebellion. Arguing over blue and red politics. I'm telling you. When none of them 4 planes, none of them, the American Airlines, the Delta, and the other one, none of them, United Airlines, none of them ended up where they want us to think they ended up. This is a serious thing. So where are they? Man, this ain't no joke, family. This is the world. This is planet world. Think about that. Now, you may not be in a position to fully understand what I'm saying. Maybe you're not privy to the information I have. Maybe you haven't seen the documentaries we would have done because they've been taken down off of the platforms, social media platforms. Even those videos I mentioned, you can't even see them no more. Imagine that. And those of us who are conscious When we go looking for these things and we don't see them, let me just give you an example. I'm not speaking this into reality, but let's just say you are watching this now, and then sometime down the line, the next couple of months, you say, hey, Priest Isaac did a great video on Idi Amin in Israel. Let me show it to you. And then you come and they say, hey, this video was taken down because it has violent content. What would you do? Oh, man, that's so sad. All right, no problem. Let's move on. You see, that's it. That's us. That is us. Because they could do more than just take down video. You know? They take down video, they lock down channel, they ban people, and all of that kind of stuff. And those of us who are just spectators here, conscious spectators, we say, oh, man, and the brother was doing so good. Oh, man, I hope he comes back soon. We got to get out of that, man. I don't know if it's the cornflakes we eat that make us think like that, but we got to wake up. Them is drowsy thinking. You're not supposed to make nobody pull down anything of right without a fight. So they pull down a video. And I come and I say, hey, you know, they pull down a video for me, you know. Somebody's going to stand up and say, hey, well, priest, you know, you could fight that, eh? Yeah, you could fight that. All you got to do is there's a section over there. You could do this and do that. So why you don't do it? Yeah, why you don't do it? Why I have to do it? I already did the video that they took down. Why you don't go and fight it now to make sure it goes back up? Why you don't go and get a petition signed for the video to go back up, to restore the channel? But we don't think like that. We're too enslaved. No, I'm very serious. We are too enslaved. Hear what the man asked him about the Palestinian, and we see that.
English, French, Arabic, and the Kiswahili.
Oh, revolutionary radio we're talking about here.
From Uganda, direct.
Talking about international radio.
I might introduce Swahili to all black Americans to understand this language in America.
You led the stone of a foundation of a new broadcasting station. Which country will it cover?
It will cover including France, including everybody, I think, in Europe, in America, in Soviet Union, China, everywhere. It will cover, so that in whole Africa, people will listen for radio broadcast from Uganda direct.
Yes,
this is very important.
Very important.
In English, or have somebody?
No, it is going to be Kiswahili, English, French, Arabic. This is 4 official language will be spoken. English, French, Arabic, and the Kiswahili.
Very good. Health media, give that. Now listen to the Palestinian question. Before we see that.
Would you accept some Palestinian hijackers with their hostages in Uganda?
The Palestinians?
Yes.
Will you accept some Palestinian hijackers with their hostages in Uganda?
Would you accept some Palestinian hijackers with their hostages in Uganda?
The Palestinians?
Yes, I read in the papers they were asking to be sent to Uganda or to Libya.
If they are sent here, I will welcome them.
Wow.
Because we believe in peace.
And this is a very important statement here. We believe in peace. Yeah.
And that is why in the United Nations, they have already passed the one of the agenda that the Black September should be treated as reason of war.
The Black September, which is the same, remember the Black September now, is who causing the hijacking. It's good.
One of the agenda that the Black September should be treated as reason of war, but not other criminal, because they are fighting for their cause.
And he's saying that is from the UN. Prisoners of war in their own country, but not as criminals. Okay.
So you will put them in prison if they come here?
I don't know whether I will put them in prison, but I know how I will keep them. But
he telling the man that they should be considered prisoners of war and not as criminals. Then he asking Great Dada if he gonna put them in prison. And Dada just laugh and say, I don't know if I would put them in prison. That's not the type of prison he talking about. They are already prisoners of war, you know, understand? In their own land. Well, at least the land that they occupied way before the Isfaki's, that's for sure. Yeah. And now he's saying, well, will you keep them in prison? I don't know, I know, but if they want to come, they are welcome.
yes, if they want to come to Uganda, they are welcome in Uganda. They have got a representative.
Having expelled the Israelis, General Amin installed the Palestinians in the former Israeli embassy.
Oh. Yeah. Give thanks. As I said, family, this is Radio Anu, the international flavor, the universal spice. Those of you who are viewing this on Radio Anu TV via the YouTube, the link for Radio Anu is in the description below. We're going to continue the discussion this evening as it relates to Idi Amin. As I promised, we will be replaying the program as it relates to Idi Amin and when he drove out the Asians for the economic strength of Uganda, the purpose of strengthening Uganda economically. So you're going to have to press the link in the description below this video, and that will carry you straight to Radio Anu and continue to bask with us in the wisdom and the courage of the great Idi Amin Dada. So even for those on the YouTube, we will not take up any more of your time. We are just thankful for your patient listening and attention. And for those of you here on Radio Anu, let us continue to bask in the beauty and the power of the great Idi Amin. Give thanks, life giver, and keeper of life. Jah Rastafari. Blessed love.